This is the true story of a New York City boy with big town hopes and small neighborhood dreams of becoming BFFs with the Real Housewives and other Bravo celebrities. Then, one day, that dream actually came true. Let me take you behind the velvet rope. Hey guys, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. How is everybody doing? Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by two wonderful women from Blaque, but lots of other things as well. We have a lot to get into. Miss Brandy Williams and Miss Shamari DeVoe.
Hi.
You guys are looking good today.
Thank you.
Now, where are you guys? Are you both in Atlanta or am I just making that up?
Straight from the A, baby. I'm right in Atlanta. You know it.
Yep.
Just because, I found that everyone is quarantining in different places. They're not where I think they are, so I'm not making any assumptions anymore. But I assumed you were in Atlanta. So what have you been doing during quarantine?
Ooh, child.
Lots of things. Quarantine has actually been a blessing. I know it's been crazy for the world, but I have found that 2020 has been a blessing, and I have really been able to get into some other things that I wouldn't normally, do, because the constant in my life is music and entertainment. But I'm like, what else can I do while I'm sitting home quarantining? So I started really diving into my fitness and, a healthy lifestyle and writing and, getting closer to family and just, staying in my word and, just staying prayed up. And yeah, it's been good.
That's good. What about you, Shamari?
Well, I have been super blessed as well during this quarantine. Of course, it's different because both my husband and I, we travel, entertainers, so now we're both home. So we don't have the usual help that we, like nannies and all of that stuff. So I'm the nanny, I'm the chef, I'm the teacher, I'm like everything right now. So it's a blessing because our children, they get a chance to spend a lot more time with us now. And like Brandy said, it actually opened the doors for you to do other things and realize that, okay, use your other talents and, just whatever other goals that you set in life to actually go after those as well. So I have been doing my own thing, like my boutique. I have a boutique. I have my own beauty line. I working on my marriage ambassador, Married for Life walk. It's a lot that I'm doing that's just I'm able to focus on now.
I know. I feel like I've been busier in quarantine than I have in years. It's crazy.
It is right? You have been, it's crazy. I was busy before quarantine. Now I'm extremely busy now. But it's a good busy,
It's great. It's been great. It really has. I mean, like Shamari said, just finding your other talents. That you're not a one-trick pony in the world. You got to be able to do other stuff.
Exactly.
Seriously.
Yes.
Are you guys from Atlanta originally?
Well, I was born in Detroit for maybe the first, I lived there until I was 5 years old, and then I moved to Atlanta. So I'm from Atlanta. I don't really know much about Detroit. So, I've been here forever. So yeah, ATL from elementary, from kindergarten all the way through college. I've been in Atlanta.
That makes
sense. It's so funny because we both are from Detroit. Well, born in Detroit.
I ain't from Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, she is from Atlanta. Yes, my bad. I always say I'm part Peach because I did move to Atlanta when I was very young with my family. I moved when I was 9. But then as an adult, I moved back to Detroit. And I got married and, had a life there too. So I always say that I'm part Peach, but I love it. I love Atlanta and I love Detroit.
And how'd you guys first meet?
Oh, you want me to tell the story, Brandy?
Yes, you tell it so well.
Okay, so Okay, so like back in the day, I was in a R&B singing group, and Brandy was a solo artist. She was 12 years old, and I was 15, and we were both in the same talent showcase. So I just remember seeing this 12-year-old cute girl on stage, and she was singing the song, I want to be down with what you're going through. I want to be down. And she had on her little hip hugger pants, and she was doing the butterfly on stage, and she was super, super cute. So I was like, oh my God, I have to like meet this girl. So we met, and we talked about like, oh my God, you were born in Detroit? Yeah, I was born in Detroit too. Oh my God, we look alike. We must be sisters. So we just kind of clicked from that day. So yeah, so that's how me and Brandy met.
And then
after that, we continued to like work together and sing together, and the rest is history.
I was gonna say, so how do you go from meeting to like starting Blaque like in 1999?
So yeah, go ahead, Brandy. You go ahead.
No, you tell it so good. You tell it.
Okay, so I've known Natina since we were 10 years old, and she ended up hooking up with Lisa Lopez's brother, Ronald Lopez. So Natina called me up one day when we were like 16. She was like, hey, I want you to come to this group. Lisa, Left Eye is putting it together. So I ended up coming over. I left the other group that I was telling you about earlier, the R&B singing group. I left that group and I joined Natina's group. And so I remember, Brandy from back at that talent show when she was 12 years old. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, let's call Brandy up here to audition for the group too. So she came up and she auditioned for the group. And we were under Blaque House management with, I can't even talk right now, excuse me, too much coffee.
It's been a long day.
Blaque House Management, which is Ronald Lopez's company at the time, a management company. So they wanted the first group that came out under their management company to be named after Blaque House, their management name. So they named us Blaque.
Which is a great name, I have to say, for a group.
Thank you.
Right? What was Lisa Lopez like?
Oh my goodness. Lisa was everything. Like it, I mean, she was so full of life. She was so fun. She was loving. She was caring. She would give you the shirt off her back. Like she was just such a good person. She really, really was. And she taught us a lot about just life and, wellness and the industry. Like she was just such a beautiful person.
That's amazing. Were you guys shocked? I mean, because you guys had some huge hits like 808. Like, were you shocked at how, did you feel like, did your success like take off, right away? Or was there really like this struggle like behind the scenes? Or was it like 808?
It was a struggle It was a struggle for me before I got with Lisa Lopez. Like I auditioned for so many labels and, got told no. But the second I got in Blaque, it was like maybe 5 months later, and we had a record deal. I was like, dang, where was this all my life?
Right. So, like we had a Cinderella story. I know when sometimes when I tell our story of how things happen for us, people are like, that doesn't happen. That's not real, because it literally went from us, becoming a group, doing a demo, getting a deal, to on stage at Soul Train, to then a big, huge tour, to then doing a huge movie, to then like our lives are just changing, So it really went fast, like super fast.
And what about now? Like, what is the current state of like Blaque? Like, what are you guys up to now as a group?
Well, pre-pandemic, we celebrated our 20-year anniversary as a group in our first album release. So we released Torch, which was our fans' album that they wanted to hear from us. So we finally released it. They loved it. It was awesome. And so now we can move forward and record new music. And that was our plan, to actually start recording and actually getting on the road. We had show dates. We had, a real schedule coming up. And then, of course, 2020 hits and the pandemic. So right now, we're just trying to navigate, how to move forward from here.
And then after the pandemic, I mean, who knows when touring will resume? Like, your plan is to go like back out on the road. I mean, I'm like huge live music person. Like, I've basically written off 2020, like hopefully, I mean, you like read things or like people are saying like it may not even be 2021, but your plan is to do a whole tour when this is all over.
Yeah, for sure. Like I hear that they're doing a lot of drive-through concerts around the world right now. So like, hope, we can start doing that. I mean, we can do virtual concerts, whatever. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much feel like 2020 is like, right off, it's done. Like, let's just move on. 2021. We do have a show in 2021 that is live show in January, I believe it is, where it's with us and Shantae Moore. So looking forward to that and many more. We're just trying to get, we want to get back out there. We want to be able to show. That's like our stress reliever too, because this is like, we've been doing this forever. So we need this.
Seriously, where is the show going to be in January?
It's in Detroit.
Well, there you go.
Yes.
I love it. The city I was born in.
It's like full circle, right?
Yeah, yes. Absolutely.
And like, I know the fans really demanded Torch, so like they must be, there must be a huge demand now to see you guys live now that like Torch came out.
Yeah, absolutely. Our fans were so excited that we had announced we were going to be touring. We had a show in New York. We had shows in DC. Like we had a schedule, coming up, and and it just, all fell out,
Are you guys?
2021, we'll be back for sure.
Are you working on like stuff separately too? Like, do you have separate like musical projects, or it's just now as a group?
Right now for me, musically, I just want to really give Blaque, what it deserves. I feel like our fans deserve to hear a new project from us, and that's musically my focus. Of course, we always have little sidebar, things that we may do, collaborations with other artists, or even, Shamari and her husband Ron have been doing things together. So, I mean, we'll always do stuff like that, but I really feel like the focus is more so on Blaque and getting that project out.
That makes sense. Now let's talk about Teyana Taylor and 808. How did that come about? The fact that Teyana Taylor sampled 808 on her single Boomin'. How did that come about? I mean, it's a great song.
Yeah, man. We're so excited about it.
Yeah. I was so shocked. Like, I'm like, what? Taylor wants to bring, it's like she's paying tribute to like the 90s and R&B music. And out of all the groups and songs that she could have chose, she chose Blaque's 808. Like, and she did a phenomenal job at it. And we're just so appreciative of her, for doing that. And Brandy talked about this earlier, how she said that Blaque was one of her favorite groups. So it only made sense.
It's such a good song. It's such a good song. It's so catchy. I mean, they're both great songs, but like to hear that in Teyana Taylor is like amazing. So that's exciting. Now let's talk about Bring It All to Me and Bring It On. One of the best movies that has ever existed in the history of movies. Oh my God. So, all right. So, you're in Blaque and you're having this success. How does Bring It On come about for the two of you?
Wow. I Bring It On kind of fell in our laps. We didn't really audition for it. We weren't really looking at the time to do a movie because we were actually touring. And our management hit us like, hey, we got an offer for you guys to do this movie. It's a Universal film. Huge, big deal. And we were like, really? And they're like, yeah, you're going to be cheerleaders. And we're like, okay, let's do it, Yeah.
And then
it was wonderful. Like, oh, and you mean we don't even have to audition for this movie? Like, bring it on then.
Right.
Seriously. And do they say like, oh, by the way, there's this girl named Kristen Dunst and there's Gabriella Union. Like, did you guys like know right away, like there were all these, people attached to it?
I don't remember that. I don't remember if we knew going in exactly who was involved. I just think that I remember it being like a huge deal. And the movie was actually called Cheer Fever at that time. And we were like, yeah, we want to do it. Like, they want us, we want to do it.
What was it like working with Gabrielle Union and Kirsten Dunst?
Oh my God, it was so good, because like it was just an honor to be a part of something so big, like with Gabrielle Union and Kirsten Dunst. Like Bring It On was like the breakthrough point for both of them, like just to work alongside this greatness. And they were so like understanding, because I ain't never acted before in my life, so they made me feel so comfortable, like with the words and just getting everything out. And it came across natural, you know? So, I mean, it was great.
What's harder, music, like, or actually acting and memorizing lines and playing someone different? Or does it all just come natural to both of you?
I think it goes hand in hand, because like even with lyrics in a song, you have to memorize those, you know? So you have to use that same skill of what's the word? Memorization. There it is. Memorization. with your lines, with acting as well. So it's all, you know, within the same, you know, industry, like entertainment, you know, film, TV. So
Tim, that's a new one. That's a new
film,
genre.
not
Tim.
Seriously.
TV. The only difference is like with singing and filming like videos, of course, it takes like, you know, maybe 2 or 3 days, or shorter now, but back then it was like 2-3 days. But you know, movies, they take like months to film. So it's longer hours, of course. And you know, so that was different, but it was beautiful. It was a great experience. We got a chance to film it out in San Diego, California, which is, oh God, I love it. I love it there.
It's nice out there.
Yes, it is,
right?
So beautiful. Yes.
And what about all of these cheerleading stunts? I mean, did you guys, you went to cheerleading practice, I assume, for the movie.
Yeah, we did. We actually went to cheer camp.
How was that?
For an entire month, and we learned everything. We did all of our stunts. There were no stunt doubles or anything. We did everything ourselves. We wanted to do it. We wanted to learn. We loved it so much that we wanted to take it to our stage show. We had our dancers learn how to put us up in the air and all of that. It was crazy. But we enjoyed it. It was great. It was fun.
That sounds like it would be a lot of fun. You were never scared with like some of the stunts though?
No, I mean, I had some cheer experience, and Shamari as well. You know, she was on a dance team and cheerleading teams when we were younger. So I think we had somewhat of experience with that kind of thing. And I think we were just so excited to really be real cheerleaders. Like we wanted to do what they were doing, what the real cheerleaders were doing. So yeah.
Yes. It was so much fun. Like, it was no issue whatsoever. I loved getting put up into the air. I felt like I was flying. I mean, I really was in like competition cheer mode. Like, it was like, you know, all in. So it was great. I enjoyed it.
And when you guys were making it, you know, like, what did you enjoy about it the most? And like, what are your thoughts on like the film's plot, on like cultural appropriation and like what the film stood for?
So I have to say, when we were filming it, because you have to remember it's 20 years ago, right?
Right.
There weren't a lot of movies like Bring It On, and these competition movies and dance movies, and so we were kind of like, nobody's really gonna want to see a movie about cheerleaders, right? Like this is not.
You were wrong.
To see a movie. We were so wrong, like
so wrong.
But we had such a good time filming it. We were like, well, if it's a flop, hey, at least we had a good time. But we didn't realize it was gonna be such a cult classic, and the whole idea of it being 20 years later and seeing how, of course, the other team was still in the team's cheers and all of that, and how you can go from being considered more of a lesser community, or, you know, more of unfortunate community, and then the more popular community or more fortunate community will come and try to steal your stuff. I mean, that's happened forever. Like, that's the times, and we're still kind of seeing that. And what we're now understanding 20 years later is that that's a real thing. And if we just decide to work together, like how at the end of the movie we all came together, and you know, of course there's going to be a winner, but if we come together and really work together, it'll all work out for everyone in the end. And that's the whole point of all of this.
Exactly. Yeah. We were number one. We were the originators, though. We all came together in the end, but we won first place. So the originators got first place, and then the people that tried to come and copy and steal our chairs, they got second place. But, you know, it was very impactful. Like Brandy said, you know, we didn't really think that was, you know, a thing. We just, now that we're going through what we're going through today, you know, we just realized how throughout the years, our culture has been so inspiring to other cultures, whether it's through music, dance, fashion, you know, voluptuousness, whatever it is.
all of the above.
Yes.
And are you shocked that it is 20 years later and it's having its 20th anniversary, and like just how this film has held up? Like, just, it's a classic. Are you shocked?
Insane. Yes. Super.
I am so shocked that this is a classic music, because I remember being at the premiere for the movie and being embarrassed to be in this movie. I was like, ew, cheerleading movie? Like, this is so corny.
Yes.
You look back at it and you're like, what? Like, this movie, the number one movie in America when it came out, and now it's like a staple in everybody's home. Like, they grew up off of this movie like I grew up off of Annie, you know? Like, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
When people like run up to you guys on the street or recognize you, is it mostly for Blaque, or is it mostly like, oh my God, you were in Bring It On?
Oh my goodness. So the best thing to me is that, of course, like, you know, the older generations are like, you're the girl from Blaque. But the beautiful thing, these kids now, because Bring It On is on TV and in everybody's home, you know, that's the thing. It's like, it's kept us relevant. Even when we kind of stepped back from music for a while, that movie was playing. So it's like, oh, wait a minute. You're the girl from Bring It On. I might not know 808 or Bring It All to Me, but I know that movie. So it's amazing.
Yes. And even today, like, you know, they do Bring It On, went to Broadway. Remember that, Brandy?
Oh, yeah.
And so they invited us to come and watch the show. And then we got up afterwards and they're like, oh my God, can you sign my autograph? Like, all the actors and stuff that was on the Broadway in theater. So, I mean, it's just been going on. It's going to continue to go on. And you see how many different Bring It Ons came out after the original one. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but we were in the only one that ever made it to the big screen, might I say.
It's time for a reboot. It's time
it really is.
The original.
Or like some TV show. It'd be great as like, if it was done right, as like some TV show now, I think.
Yes, it would be.
And so you were in it, but then how did Bring It All to Me become, like, did they ask you then like to write a song after you were in it? Like, how did that all come about?
Well, a lot of people think that Bring It All to Me was the lead song off of the soundtrack, and that's not true. Yes, Bring It All to Me came out when Bring It On was released, but the song is actually As If. That's the song that is from the soundtrack. So yeah, a lot of people just get it confused, I guess, because it was released around the same time, and the name of the song is Bring It All to Me, and the movie was Bring It On. So yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not sure that I mean, I could see why people would think that. It makes sense. Interesting.
It does make sense, especially with Bring It All to Me being the number one song of the summer of 2000, and then Bring It On coming out as the number one movie in America in 2000. It just makes sense. Why not? But it didn't happen that way.
No, As If was definitely the song. As If was it.
What was it like? You know, it was just like a different time in music. It was like Justin Timberlake and Britney. Like, you know, not that these people are still around today, but like Beyonce. Like, Do you guys have any, like starstruck story, of like when you first kind of hit it, like, oh my God, like there's Beyonce and this is what happened, or there's Justin Timberlake, or any of the other like people that were kind of on the scene at that time?
Well,
like,
I mean, the
moment.
cool thing is we came up at the same time, so we were all like each other's peers. There was really no kind of star. It was just like, hey, B, hey, Justin, hey, Brittany. It was like we were all in a high school together at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
To see the success of what Brittany turned into and what Beyonce is now,
Yes.
and Justin Timberlake and all the guys of NSYNC and, everybody that kind of came up at the same time. It's amazing to be able to say, hey, I was a part of that. I was a part of that class. I was in high school with them. We grew up together, and it's amazing. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it was a great time in music. Who were like some of your musical influences growing up? Like, who were you like, oh my God, that's my favorite person? Or like, what type of music did you guys like growing
up? I love, of course, Whitney Houston. I used to sing her beautiful ballads at the age of 3, and that's when my family realized that I could actually sing at 3 years old. I was blessed and born into this. So, yes, definitely Whitney Houston. I absolutely love Brandy Norwood. Oh, my God. She's just incredible. And
that's a good one.
My favorite producer of all time is Babyface. I love Babyface. His music, it just puts you in a place, and it takes you back to a moment like when I was 16 and I thought I was in love, and I would listen to the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack over and over again and cry my eyes out. I mean,
that's a good soundtrack.
Yes, it's just I love like that old, like, hit you in the heart, music like that. So yeah, so I would say those 3.
Yeah, I came up in the Motown era. A lot of my family was in the industry, so I was able to tour and see some of those artists as a kid. And so I just know I wanted to be Diana Ross. When I would put like towels on my head or like shirts so I could have the hair like her, and I would pretend to be. I just wanted to be Diana Ross. Hence the hair. Now I finally made my Diana moment. But
Diana Ross that's a good one.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness, loved her.
I love me some Diana Ross.
Oh yeah.
Have you guys kept in touch with like Kirsten Dunst, Gabrielle Union, or have you not spoken in a while?
Oh yeah, Gabby.
With Gabby.
Keeps in touch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With Gabby, she always keeps in touch. We keep in touch with her, and we haven't talked to Kirsten since she was 16 years old, but we definitely talked to Gabby. Hey, Kirsten.
I'll tell her you say hi if I speak to her.
Okay.
So speaking of music at the time, what about Escape? Were you guys like, did you like cross? I mean, Escape was kind of having their moment at the same time. Like, were you like, did you know Candy back in the day?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Candy wrote the 808 remix for Blaque. Yeah. So absolutely, Candy has been in our lives since Blaque started, and of course, Shamari got to work with her again. So I mean, yeah.
No, she's always been down for Blaque. Always been willing to help and lend her creativity to us. So love Candy.
We love Candy. So was Candy how you initially got connected to the Real Housewives of Atlanta? And is that what people want to talk to you about maybe more so than anything these days? Like, are you shocked at like the power of like just how fanatical people are over the Real Housewives?
Yes. So Candy, no, she didn't ask me to be a part of the Housewives of Atlanta. The producers have literally stalked me for 2 years prior to that and wanted me to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So I finally said yes, because like they wanted me to come when I was pregnant with the boys, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So after I had the the babies. I said yes. I was like, I went on there and it was amazing. That is a major freaking platform to be a part of. Like, it's incredible the amount of notoriety you get from being on that show. Yeah, I was definitely shocked. I was like, wow. Like, you can see how people get on that show and they can do anything they want. You got a clothing line? Oh yeah. You're gonna definitely get everybody to buy your clothes. If you got some weave, you know, they're gonna buy your weave. Like, whatever it is you want to do, get on Housewives of Atlanta and you gonna do it. You will succeed at it.
And like, are you shocked? You know, like, here you are, like, you're part of this like major super group. You've had all these hits. You're in a major movie, and like, I'm sure there's this huge part of the population that just, you know, like our place in pop culture, like people that come up to you and they're like, oh my God, you're a Real Housewife of Atlanta. And you're like, well, I was also in Blaque and I have this super group. Right. You're like, hello. But yeah. I'm sure, because I like know that audience, I'm sure that happens a lot too, right?
Yeah, like when I was on season 11, when they were showing it, like way more people were coming up to me like, oh my God, you're Shamari from Real Housewives of Atlanta. And they would even go up to my husband and be like, oh my God, you're Shamari DeVoe's husband, you know? It used to be, before Housewives of Atlanta, oh my God, you're Ronnie DeVoe's wife. But then Real Housewives of Atlanta, oh, you're Shamari DeVoe's husband. So that platform is freaking huge.
Was he shocked that people were like, wait, are you on the Real Housewives of Atlanta and you're Shamari DeVoe's husband?
No, he just thought it was funny. Like, he would just come back and tell me and we would just laugh about it. I mean, we thought it was great. Like, you know, we're both getting, you know, notoriety.
Would you ever be on the Real Housewives, Brandy, if they came and asked you?
Well, I made a couple debuts with Shamari, and I think that I love the idea of the Housewives. I was a fan of the show before it even started. I used to watch it all the time. Shamari would be like, what's going on the house? I would be in it. Like, I knew what was happening. If I could catch it, I would catch it. But not a no, but I would love to do a show with Shamari and I. I think that was our ultimate goal anyway, to kind of do a Blaque spinoff or something from there. That would be more so what I would want to do.
That would be good, kind of like, you know, now that you're starting this next phase of Blaque and like going on tour.
Yeah.
That would be a great idea for a show. Do you guys like run into, I mean, like, is Atlanta that small that you'll run into like a Kenya Moore, like a Cynthia Bailey?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Atlanta's small, yeah, and yes, you're gonna run into people all the time.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely will.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a good experience on there, Shamari? I mean, I watched it, of course, but like, would you ever go back on the show? I
just feel like the whole editing thing is just, you know, when you don't have control over what is being seen and how you're being portrayed as a person. In life, we have balance. We need balance. Like, we have our good days and we have our bad days. But when, you know, they're constantly just, you know, magnifying, you know, Shamari is, you know, whatever, throwing up at Nene's house, you know, okay, cool. But there's also other parts that I show that you didn't show, like the fact that I had a couples cocktails and conversation, bringing couples together and helping them to reaffirm their love for one another and saving families, but you didn't show that part. So I just feel like it has to be a balance, you know, and my experience was that my balance wasn't really shown. But yeah, it was cool. It was a cool experience. I mean, I just went out there and I tried, was myself, and that's all I can be. Shamari Jaquad DeVoe. That's who I am.
Have you spoken to Nene lately?
No, I haven't.
I had to ask. So what else are you guys going to do for the rest of quarantine? What are your plans?
I think our plan for the rest of 2020 is to definitely stay safe and to try to navigate through what the new normal is right now. I mean, you know, as far as, you know, our profession, it's really hard for us to be able to, you know, do what we do. But it's about being creative, finding new ways to reach our fans and, you know, stay productive and stay relevant, stay busy, you know. So that, I think that's the whole thing, putting a game plan together to really, you know, stay in our fans' faces and let them know that we're still here. And, you know, we're working to be able to get back out there and see them on the road and definitely get new music to them.
And what about, because, you know, we already talked about Teyana Taylor and 808. Is there any, like, who musically, like, nowadays, like, is there anyone new on the scene that you're like, oh, this is, like, you know, my latest obsession, or this is someone to watch? Like, who do you guys love in, like, music these days?
I'm loving Lucky Day. Okay, I'm into him. I love Lucky Day. And I love me some Meg Thee Stallion. Okay, that's my girl.
Those are good ones.
Brandy, who do I love?
Babyface and
Listen, I'm bad with current music, so I mean, I shouldn't ask questions I don't want to answer. I'm old school, like.
yes, Shamari is listening to Alexa 90s radio. That's who she's listening to right now.
That's really what I listen to, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and then
turn off Alexa.
I try to, you know, there's some new
sorry,
music
Alexa's
that I like.
Talking. Turn off Alexa. Alexa, turn off.
Because you said Alexa, but
God, I can't hear her.
I like can't hear her either. But yeah, I'm personally stuck in the 90s and early 2000s with most music, so I get it.
Yes, I'm so serious about that. Like, hit me, baby, one more time, Britney Spears. Like, can you just hit me back?
Who doesn't love?
Yes,
who doesn't
Britney
love?
Spears.
Who doesn't love a little Britney? Who doesn't love a little Britney?
I love it. And I love this whole dancing that she's been doing lately. It's just so super. It's taking me back to that time when she was doing all of that. Like when she had on her little cool little, you know, school uniform and she was dancing. I just love it. It's just giving me so much like 90s, like love. And, you know, it's beautiful. Love you, Brittany.
Are you shocked with like how big like a Britney became, or like a Justin, or, you know, because you guys all kind of came up to, you know, or were you like, no, like you could see that they were going to be?
Oh yeah, they were going to be huge. We knew it. Like,
yes,
it was just designed. Like they had the music, they had the talent, and they had the machine to make it happen. So, I mean, it was destined for sure.
Anything else you guys want us to cover? I feel like I always like to give people a chance, like as we wrap up, to like talk about anything else you have going on, any side projects. Like you said, you go on Real Housewives of Atlanta, you can mention the clothing line, liquor, and then it's sold. So like anything else you guys want to go over?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on things together and separately. Right now, I'm a co-host of a podcast called The Throwback Zone Show. I have my wellness brand, Be Well Fit. I'm working on a couple scripts that I'm writing. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now.
What is your podcast on? Like, what's the subject matter?
Oh, well, it's the Throwback Zone. So it's actually all things throwback. Like, we are so all about the 90s and like bridging the gap between then and now. So we had our very first guest was Cody Shane, who's my sister, but she's also of the culture of now. And then we've also interviewed Ralph Tresvant, who is, of course, New Edition. So yeah, we want to bridge the gap between then, which is our then is more like 80s, 90s to now. Mm-hmm. Do you like
having a podcast? It's a lot of work, right? People don't think it is.
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I love it. It's so much fun. I have a lot of fun with my co-hosts. Like that, we just have a good time. So I'm excited. I'm really enjoying it.
That's the key. Yeah, everyone thinks you just turn on a microphone and you talk, and it's like so much fun, and it is fun, but you're like, it's a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it's work. It's work, but I'm into it.
Me too. What about you, Shamari? Anything else you have going on with your side projects?
Yes. So I had this boutique that I've been wanting to get out for a long time. So I finally got the chance to open that up during this whole COVID thing. It's called Mari's Boutique. And it's for the busy moms or just busy people, period, that just don't really care. Like, they don't have the time to like figure out what they're going to wear. So they're just I have outfits for everybody, for daytime, for nighttime. If you want to wear it with flats, you put on some flats. If you want to wear it at night, you just turn around and rock that same outfit in the evening and throw some heels on. So that's one of my businesses. What else do I have? Also, oh yes, I have a beauty product, vegan, cruelty-free, anti-aging. So if you shampoo your hair and wash your face, you need to hit me up because I would love to get you some of these products. I have that also, and I have my Married for Life walk coming up, the 5th annual Married for Life walk as a marriage ambassador. So we weren't able to do it back in April because of COVID. So we're going to do it October 17th, and it's going to be virtual. So I'm pretty excited about that.
That's good. And just talk to us about being a marriage ambassador, just for everyone who.
Okay, so being a marriage ambassador, it's almost like you're helping other people, like you're saving marriages, you're helping them through, their issues, you're helping them solve them, you're giving them tools and skills, whatever it is, because being in a relationship is a lot of work, and marriage takes a whole lot of work. So we're just providing them with the things that they need. So during like the Married for Life walk, we have a part where we look into our significant other or whoever's eyes, and we reaffirm our love for one another. We hold hands. We do a balloon release, which will probably change because I don't like that for the environment, but we do a balloon release, and we hold hands, we walk a mile, and we just walk and talk to each other, and it's healing. So we're saving families, we're keeping children in the home with their mom and with their dad, because that's so important. Has an impact on how that child grows up and how they become a member of the society. When they're raised in the same home, then they're more likely to be educated, go to college, and not be in jail and things like that. So being a marriage ambassador is just saving people from getting divorces, because families make up the community, and the community makes up our society. So that's what we're doing.
That makes sense. So that's great. You guys have a lot going on.
Yes, we do.
That's good, though. So I really appreciate you guys taking your time. If there's anything else you would like to discuss, we can discuss anything else you would like.
I think we covered pretty much everything.
I think
you
so
don't
too.
Want to leave us, do you?
Listen, that's like the wrong question to ask me. Like, I could sit and talk to people all day. I do have to say, despite the fact that, I'm a Housewives fanatic, New Edition is everything. So tell your husband hello from me.
Okay, I will. I'll definitely let him know you said hello.
Blaque is everything too, but I love a little New Edition. Like, all the music is great. I am in New York. I plan to check you guys out. I'd love to go to your show. If you come here, I will be there early 2021. I hope you guys add a lot of tour dates and the world opens up. And I'm excited for a tour and new music. So
thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys stopping by. Where can we find all you online, together, separately? Where can we find you guys online? Instagram.
Okay, well, you can find me at Shamari DeVoe on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. At Shamari DeVoe. That's me.
Easy. That's easy and simple.
And the Brandy D on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Everyone needs to go and follow you guys. I really appreciate this. Keep in touch. Let me know if you need anything. I love you both dearly.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Love you too.
Thank you for having
me. Nice talking to you.
Bye.
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 Bye. Thanks for listening to yet another episode of Behind the Velvet Rope. Because without you listeners, I would just be a crazy person with voices in my head. And if you like what you hear, subscribe on Apple Podcasts under Behind the Velvet Rope. And when you're done subscribing, feel free to leave a 5-star write-up review. because the write-up reviews actually count. We read each and every one of them. We post the best ones, and the reviews really help our shows keep going, and we really appreciate everything you guys say, especially the positive ones. And if you want to find us online, we're at Behind Velvet Rope on Instagram. We are at David Yontef on Instagram. We're Behind the Velvet Rope on Apple Podcasts. Or head on over to Patreon, because you know what? There are just some things we can't talk about here. So for our bonus episodes, go to Patreon and type in Behind the Velvet Rope. And if you still aren't sick of me and you want more David, go to Cameo and book me on Cameo. And you can ask me anything.